I grew up in Israel. I was born in '63, and I grew up with a lot of Holocaust survivors, a few of them in my family. You know, people with the numbers tattooed.
Yeah.
And I'm sure that you met quite a few in America.
Yeah.
And maybe your experience is very different, but what was very clear to me, I've never been subject to their victimhood. They never pushed this Holocaust story on us. In fact, we would have to try to push them to talk about it.
Right.
And this was very interesting for me, because I noticed at a certain stage I could be kind of a second generation. You know, my wife, for instance, she's a daughter of kind of survivors, and I noticed that the second generation, where they were my age, were more tormented. When it came to the third generation, they were totally tormented by the Holocaust. And this strange phenomenon led me to think about this whole issue of the Holocaust, and then I started to think about my experience at the time of the war, and I realized I wasn't 82, sorry, and I was far from being a hero or anything, but I realized that when we were driving into Lebanon at a certain stage, we were there was a kind of a raid alert, and I didn't know what to do because I wasn't really kind of a platoon,
right.
You know, and I could see that all the proper platoons, they knew how to dig themselves, and I was walking there, and I was kind of quite scared. And in the night, there was kind of an event that took place that was actually very frightening, but it was resolved and nothing happened to me. For years, I suffered dreams of Syrian MiGs attacking me. Mm-hmm. I would run away from the bombs, and then I started to realize that I had kind of post-trauma, or what you call it, because this event never occurred, and because it never occurred, it has never been resolved. The people who lived through the Holocaust lived through horror, but the event resolved for those who survived, and they left it behind. The kids live with kind of a trauma that never happened to them, it never been resolved, and they are tormented. The more you drift away from the event, the more traumatized you are. And when we are looking at the Israeli society now, they are totally psychotic.